back where you started, only this time you're strapped to a table.
Transformed.
But he got those guys going.
He made me do things I never would have done.
Told them to seize their desires.
If you think you deserve something, then take it.
And I was watching Gene's face. The look that came over his face. But it's the same look he has all the time now.
And you're transformed too. You're beautiful.
Tick, tick, tick. Dexter. That's the sound of Lumen's life running out.
If you hadn't met me, you would never have known you had it in you. It's truly amazing. You should thank me.
Eugene Greer, better known as Jordan Chase, is widely regarded as the worst Dexter villain. Despite this, out of every antagonist, not only is he the most realistic, but a man who had enough influence to become a fully fledged cult leader. Today, I wanted to look into the disturbing case of Jordan Chase and why he is absolutely the most sadistic Dexter villain. In the beginning, Eugene Greer was an obese teenager that spent his summer at camp. It is here that he met Cole Harmon, Dan Mandel, Alex Tilden, and Boyd Fowler. The five of them form a group which would later be known as the Barrel Girl Gang. A young counselor in training named Emily Birch felt sorry for Eugene and befriended him, viewing the rest of the gang no different to everyone else. On a walk with Eugene one day, Emily blacked out and woke up tied to a bunk inside of a cabin. Eugene tells the group to seize their desires and stands back as he watches his plan unfold. This event created something inside Eugene, an urge so strong that he created the same ritual 13 more times to 13 women over the years. Right after this brutal experience, Emily is forced to take the group photo of the boys. As a souvenir, Jordan takes a vial of Emily's blood and treasures it, never forgetting the day he found real excitement. As an adult, Eugene's life only went uphill. He lost weight, gained wealth, wrote a book, became a motivational speaker, and now goes by the alias Jordan Chase. To the public, Jordan was a good man that saved people, but behind closed doors, he was a monster that enjoyed watching, filming, and emotionally torturing his victims. Over the years, Jordan and the gang maintained the routine of their ritual, but made a few changes. For one, they would record footage of their actions, and after they were done, the victims were left to Boyd Fowler to rest permanently. Although I am being vague about the group's actions because of YouTube's restrictions, I need you to understand how evil these characters are. Compared to other Dexter villains who ice their victims, the Barrel Girl Gang show no mercy and actually prolong this service. If you still don't understand, imagine 4 Griffiths in one room and Void commanding them. Anyway, Boyd only iced 12 women and was unable to take out the 13th victim since Dexter Morgan intervened. One by one, the Barrel Girl Gang is eliminated and Jordan is the last man standing. Surprisingly, Jordan is able to catch Lumen and Dexter, but unfortunately for him, the tables turn. Strapped to a table, Lumen ices Jordan while Dexter oversees his ritual. Jordan Chase's life ended where Eugene Greer's began, and number 13 received justice. While Jordan isn't the most intimidating Dexter villain, he strives in manipulation. He is able to unleash the primal nature in his friends while they are teenagers, convincing them to take part in heinous acts. What's interesting is that it's clear Jordan has a gift in motivating people in both self-improvement and a man's lustful nature. A question I found rather interesting after a recent rewatch of season 5 was what if Dexter never found Jordan Chase? We see in episode 8, Take It, Jordan has a cult-like following of men and women that love him. From his book and CDs, it's clear he saved, or let's just say changed, a lot of lives. I think Jordan could have easily started recruiting weak men into his secret life and expanded the Barrel Girl Gang. Now, before you say this is far-fetched, I do think it would have taken years for Jordan to create a Barrel Girl Gang secret cult, since we know in 20 years, the gang has only remained as 5 members, including Eugene. With that being said, imagine Jordan seeing potential in someone that's having a midlife crisis at one of his seminars. It wouldn't be hard for him to speak to them in private, similar to when he spoke with Dexter, and he could slowly propose the idea to them. If this ordeal backfired, his head of security and friend Cole Harmon could handle it. And if the potential member was unsure, Jordan could convince them that the next step to a better life is to take what they want instead of playing by life's rules. When you start to think about the potential of Jordan Chase, his case becomes even more unsettling. And even though he wasn't a threatening villain, it's highly possible, given the years and time to build a cult, he would have been a major threat to Dexter and Miami. If we're being honest, there are many people in the real world that are like Jordan Chase. Sick bastards with money that do all sorts of nastiness. They use their power to keep their secret life from swimming to the surface, and only some have been revealed to be diddlers. Although Jordan is a one-dimensional antagonist, he is definitely the most realistic villain due to the world we live in today. Compared to other Dexter villains, Jordan stands out because he doesn't actually want or need to get his hands dirty. In terms of his victims, he's indirectly iced 12 women and directly iced 1. When comparing the cause of his actions to other antags, he wasn't traumatized, but instead awoken. Due to causing unwatchable assault on his CIT, he became fascinated with the feeling of superiority. Superior enough to control others and make them do his bidding, also feeling above his victims. His catchphrase,
Tick, tick.
is his way of feeling in control, not only in the situation, but the fate of his victims. He doesn't even have to touch them, but due to his words, their fate is sealed. Eugene is remorseless and doesn't feel an ounce of guilt for indirectly icing his victims, but instead feels pride. Pride in his twisted ideology in taking what you think belongs to you, and making it seem completely normal to his 4 friends to act out their dark impulses just because they'll never get caught. The watch guy uses his watch for psychological torture and enjoys watching the assault on his victims. The man presents himself as a savior to his followers, but in his real life is a monster who has no remorse. And the boy is a leader who discovered life and death were in the palms of his hands just from his words alone. Out of every Dexter villain, Jordan Chase hurts my stomach the most because not only are his actions horrifying, but there are people like him in our world. Not to mention, if he wasn't discovered by Dexter, he had the potential to become a cult leader, stepping into his role as a savior and giving his lost followers a purpose. The victims of Eugene Greer would laugh at the fates of every other Dexter villain sufferers because at least they got the courtesy of a sudden demise. At least they weren't used and tortured by 4 men, all for one man's satisfaction. You can still feel amused towards Jordan Chase, unthreatened even, but to me, he will always be the most sadistic Dexter villain. If you enjoy hearing why underrated villains are great, follow the first rule of the code and subscribe. It may seem small to you, but it means the world to me. Have an amazing day.